Hello, Tom Lebecchia here for the weekly live with Dr. Steinbrech. Sorry, I got a little echo there. So I'm your co-host, Tom Lebecchia, for the weekly live stream, and we're here with the main man, Dr. Doug Steinbrech. How you doing today?
I'm good. Tired, kind of good. We just got out of the OR on the West Coast. We're in the Beverly Hills office. Some good body banking today. Beautiful. Actually, on a healthcare professional, which is cool. It's amazing how many doctors, physicians, nurses that we operate on, and what at the same time as like the local sort of Hollywood crowd in Beverly Hills. So, but it's good, and it was a good, nice, busy day.
Love it.
Loved it.
So this is going to be all about Beverly Hills. Ooh, you knocked off for a second. This is all about Beverly Hills, all about Los Angeles. The nice thing about Dr. Steinbrech's practices is that although he has a national presence, he has a local and customized approach. And the guys in LA kind of request things a little differently than the guys in New York. Let's unpack that a little bit. Give us kind of some of the
Yeah.
nuances that you see on the West Coast.
I think, don't get me wrong. People in New York, they want to look younger. They want to be more confident. I think the people on the West Coast want to look a little bit younger than the people in New York. I think people in New York want to look best for their age, or maybe a little bit younger. People in New York, in LA, they want to back it up 10, 15, 20 years. It's the way they dress, the style they dress, more relaxed, more casual. And they want, and that's what they're looking for. Probably in LA, more face, more neck work, eyes. Um, I think it's just that wanting to sort of keep up with the movie stars, I guess.
So, according to the data, 2022 data from the Plastic Surgery Society, which Doctor belongs to, top procedures are eyelid surgery, liposuction, gynecomastia, which is male breast reduction, facelift, and also chin augmentation, which is pretty interesting. Let's unpack this a little bit. Eyelid surgery.
Yeah.
Uh, Break that down. Upper, lowers.
For
Do you,
most guys,
how do
and
you
it's sort of like in our daddy do-overs, or maybe the guys in our Forbes facelift group. So, as you know, when you go to our website, it's interesting. We have the models, and
Yep.
then we have the daddies next door, and then we have the bodybuilders, the weight guys, and then over here we have the biggest winner, which is our take on the biggest loser, massive weight loss, Ozempic crowd. And then over here we have our Forbes facelift group. There they are. They're all right there. So in LA, with the eyes, it's going to be some daddy do-over guys, and it's going to also be some of our Forbes guys, some CEO, what we call C-suite plastic surgery, which is guys are getting a little bit older, but they want to stay a little bit fresher. Uh, and in the OR, we can do a little snip, upper and lower eyes, clean out the excess fat, the bulging of the lower lids with an upper and lower, here comes the word, blepharoplasty, which
Yeah.
just means eye lift. No big deal. Pinch out a little skin to get rid of those bags and improve everything. So that's what we do for eyes. But sometimes people aren't ready for that. You might be in your late 20s, early 30s, and you're starting to empty things out. The
Yeah.
cheek point is starting to fall down, and you're getting what we call dun dun dun, the tear troughs, right? So it just makes you want to cry just hearing that word, the tear trough. So what I can do in the meantime, if you're not ready for surgery, is we can do some fillers. Just bring those tissues out and keep them flush and keep them in place. By keeping them in place, you don't drain out the tissues. The tissues don't fall and create those wrinkles, folds, and things that make it even more difficult to correct when it's time to correct them. It can buy us a little bit of time to use a little bit of filler to keep it out. So we use lots of different fillers, Restylane,
Yeah.
Juvederm, any kind of hyaluronic acid for those areas. We can even use your own fat for those areas for the right candidates.
So typically the eyes are the 40 plus crowd, right? 'Cause that's where you age first.
Yeah, that's where
Yeah,
we'll see it. But we even see them in some younger people in their 30s.
yeah,
People that genetically, there's some guys that go to college and just they're already starting to form those buckets underneath their eyes.
yeah,
And they say, this is, my dad had the same thing. My great grandfather has the same thing. We all
yep,
look exactly the same. So
yep.
some people may be a little bit earlier, but then sort of the peak of the hill is really guys in their 40s, 50s.
Now, it's kind of interesting because you kind of called it the facelift is coming back. Remember, for a while it was on a decline. People were using fillers, going for non-invasive, but
Yeah.
nothing beats actual surgery. It's obviously
Got to
intervening.
heal by steel, Tom.
Yeah,
That's what we're here to do. Now, yeah, the fillers have helped a lot
yeah,
in terms of, as I said before, maintaining things in their
yeah,
place. But no doubt about it, things continue to fall. And even though people come up with a new laser, it just nothing seems to do the
yeah,
trick for a lot of people. To bring up the neck, really help out the jawline,
yeah.
as a face does, face and eyes, or just a neck. Guys may not want to have a full facelift and only want a neck lift. So another way to go about it is, if you're starting to get those bands and starting to get a little bit of a
Just
turkey
more
neck,
fast, yeah,
to go ahead and make a small incision without doing the whole facelift or the whole extended neck lift, and then make a small incision. I can sneak under there, bring the muscles together to
wow,
create sort of uh, um, tighten up that area. It's called
yeah.
platysmoplasty. Brings the platysma muscles together, and then that brings the skin up. Some submental liposuction. I did it this morning. Neck tight, which is radio frequency that we can do at the same time.
Oh wow,
Really, newest technology for tightening up the skin while I'm doing the submental liposuction. The submental just means underneath the chin.
yeah.
And then we can, if need be, we can do the extended neck lift that for a guy maybe in his 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
70s. That is the time to go ahead and get that done.
I don't want to get in trouble with any of the companies, but submental is double chin is tough, right? That's why I got a beard. But
So that,
with that said, though, you got cool sculpting, you got Kybella, and those things work. They have their efficacy, but really, you need to kind of get out that fat and tighten it up. Like, walk us through like you said, the surgical part of it and why you may need to get the surgical part.
so I did this morning what we do, and this one's under local, so you can do it under
Oh, wow.
local. Yeah, you can do it under local. If you're just like a total chill person and you
Yeah,
say, "Hey, I don't need to do anesthesia to clean my teeth,"
yeah,
or I don't need to go all the way asleep to have certain other procedures done. If you know yourself, or you're a chill, relaxed person, then we can do submental liposuction and neck tight energy based tightening of the skin under local. Or if you'd rather just say, hey, I just rather take a little nap. I never get an opportunity during the day to take a little nap because I work too hard. This is your opportunity to do that. We just gently drift you off to sleep with some they call it milk of anesthesia, which is a milk of amnesia, which is propofol. The quick onset, quick offset, puts you to sleep in 30 seconds, wakes you up in 5 minutes, and very little like that overhang, that hangover from general anesthesia. And then what I do is I put in the tumescent, which is a wetting solution that wets up the area. Then we do the liposuction. We do our neck tight, which is energy-based tightening for collagen building of the skin, tighten up the neck and the jawline, and wake
yeah.
you up.
And like we said, there's some nuances by coast, so we'll kind of round it out with kind of Doc's patented surfer abs. Obviously, it's warmer, more part, more time of the year in Los Angeles, so you're at the beach more. you're shirtless more. So you came up with the idea and concept of surfer abs. Why don't you walk through kind of surfer kind of
Yeah,
yoga?
so this happened. It's all about doing grafting, and what we do is subtract and add, and this is really our 10th anniversary
Mm,
of doing our abdominal sculpting, and then with abdominal highlights. We've been doing this now 10 years. Now a lot of other people are starting to do it, and they're saying this is new, new to the practice. We started it 10 years ago, and we've really been able to refine it, and we can give people a great variation. It can be a stronger, more impressive sort of thing, or it can be very subtle and just a tiny little bit of a hint of abdominal sculpting. So patients really happy with it. And when you go to our website, like Tom's flipping through, you can see some people are stronger,
yeah.
other people are, it's more subtle. And that's the other thing we like to do is we like to really listen to what you have to say. Find usually people find somebody that reminds them of on the website of what they want, and usually it's a Goldilocks thing. You know, the porridge is a little too hot, too cold. That guy's a little too strong for me. That guy's a little too soft for me. This guy right here, that's what I want to look like. That's what my abs want to look like. So
So,
excuse me. That's why I always tell people like get in that gallery, look at a lot of different ones, and we'll be able to find someone that we've done so many at this time. We've done over 800 of these um, that there's going to be somebody that's pretty close to where you are.
so actually, you bring a good point up before we wrap it up. Is
Yeah.
one of the points of pride, if you will, is I mean, you go to a plastic surgeon's website, you're lucky if you see two guys on there. This is his compilation gallery. Uh, this is only this is only a part of it. We actually had Doc condense it a little bit because it was a little overwhelming. But these are all his before and afters. So the cool thing I like about it is everybody kind of focuses on how's it relevant to them, and you could kind of find your kind of current body type, and then obviously more importantly, where you want to go. So it's really easy to navigate. It's a great result, Doc. It's a really nice one.
Yeah.
Really nice.
No, there's good stuff in there. We had too many pictures like it was gonna break the internet.
Yeah,
So so we had to like condense things a little bit, but that's what people like,
yeah,
and that's where you're going to be able to find someone that reminds you of you or
yeah.
matches your body type or your face type, and that's also where people really sort of get a feel of the depth and breadth of cases that we've done over the last 15 years to really have our team be sharp about what they do and have and as sharp as our scalpels are, people be able to um, our whole team be able to do an excellent job over the years to make sure that we deliver not only great results but consistent results with low rates of complications. That's what it's all about.
So even
Is
like
we're
that.
one of our buckles.
Yeah.
So that's a buckle fat removal. Again, Tom, I did it this morning.
Oh wow.
The guy that I did submental liposuction, which is sort of our triple play. Quite commonly, we'll do chin implant, submental liposuction, and buccal fat resection. And then they get a more sculpted lower face. We're confident. Then we come back and do fillers around the
Nice.
jawline, or I can do some fat injections around the jawline, cheekbone. Looks amazing. So buckles, one of my favorite things. I just did a really nice set today.
When do you I keep saying last question and I ask like one more. I know you're probably tired. When do you kind of say, "Hey, I'm going to go with fat on this," versus using maybe a filler? How do you decide?
First of all, we see if there's any fat there. Some of these guys that are in WeHo in LA or in Chelsea, in New York, you know who you are. They're pretty lean and ripped, and there may not be enough fat to do bigger areas like the glutes or the pecs, body banking of these areas. In which case, we'll do gluteal implants, which we are doing tomorrow in the Beverly Hills
And
office, and bicep implants. I'm super excited for that. Um, so that is, they have to have fat to be able to do it. Then for the face, you don't need as much fat. So a lot of times we can go ahead and do that. Now for the face, what it comes down to underneath the eyes, if the tissues are very thin, you're a better candidate to do injections with the hyaluronic acid fillers. But if you have nice thick dermis, we can do the fat grafting. The other thing is if you're on the table already having surgery and we have the fat there, then why not? Why not use this area? But if you're coming in and you're not having surgery, then to use the fillers, it's so easy because it comes right off the shelf. It goes in 15 minutes, and we can do a male model makeover. Total transformation for the men in just 15 minutes. And it's so nice and sharp. And the
yeah,
other thing is, a lot of times people are like, well, Jewish, I don't know. I want to try this on for size. Um, that's the beauty of the filler. We do the filler, we put it in. You don't have to sign up for surgery. You just come in and do it. You don't have to take a lot of time off from work. And I inject it. Looks great. God forbid if you didn't even like it, you could always dissolve it. Rarely do we need to do that. Usually it's a jealous wife or a jealous boyfriend
mm,
of how good you look, if anything. But we rarely need to do that. I just tell people that there's a way to reverse it. It doesn't usually happen because when we put it in, we have you look with the mirror and we drip it in and see how's that look. And if there's any other question, we stop early, have you come back and do more next week or in 2 weeks. So there's no worries about that. But the other thing about the fillers is after certain amount of time, your body metabolizes it. So if there's any fair eek about an implant or about permanent fat injections, you can try this on for size, see how it looks, and but people love it, and they either switch over to fat or a chin implant, or they just continue with the injectables for the rest of their life.
um, before we get to the
Yeah.
next thing, you went a little viral. We'll get to that in a second.
Oh yeah. Oh
Back
yeah.
to the fat question real quick. Sometimes fat gets absorbed, or up to 50% get absorbed. You overcompensate a little bit for that possible absorption,
Yeah,
or
we call it in the business overcorrection, which
yeah,
means we just use a little bit more because we don't expect all the cells to survive, and some of it was the swelling from the needles or from the cannulas. And some of the fluid that's mixed in with the fat cells. So long day in the OR. So we do overcorrect in anticipation of that swelling going down. So maybe first couple weeks, maybe a little bit overfilled, and then after 2 3 weeks, you're pretty much where you're going to be, which is perfect.
but one last question on that. If you go with
Yep.
fat over filler and it does stick, not too much absorbed, is it quasi permanent, or in 5 years you got to re up?
If you do fat, is it yeah, fat? Okay, this is it about fat because over and over and over we hear that oh, the fat disappeared, the fat
Yeah,
disappeared. The fat will not disappear unless after we inject it in, you don't have enough carbs on board during that period of time to have them survive.
got it.
If we do any body banking procedure and you starve yourself after it, well, guess what? Your body's not going to prioritize. It's just trying to keep its heart pumping. It's not going to prioritize holding on to fat. And so you're going to lose those fat cells. That's the main determinant. We can't go home. God bless it. I'd love to go home with every patient and make sure everything's perfect, but can't do it. I have my own family that I love,
Yep.
uh, and they would divorce me
Mhm.
if I had to go home and take care of the patients. So we need to go ahead and eat afterwards. If you eat everything, sure, it's going to survive. Everything's going to survive. Sometimes people may want to do more. If I ever see it, it's where the patient was conservative and we said, okay, let's just do a little bit. And then they love it and they want to go back and do more and they want to do it. But anything that's lasted for a year, it's going to be with you the rest of your life.
Interesting. So this morning, because all of that notice, because my day job is the marketing director for Docs practices, and as much as I love to host, my day job is my responsibility. I wake up and I see some Instagram activity. I'm like, okay, a little more than usual. And once in a while, you might run an ad or two, so you see an increase. So I'm sitting there, I'm like, I don't think we have any ads running. I call our partner Mike, who's our assistant director, and he goes, I'm not running any ads. Are you? No, I'm not running any ads. So we look. And this morning, I had to check my text just now. When I text you this morning, the views were at 4.2 million views for the viral video. And now that we check now, it's 4.7 million,
Wow. That's
which is insane.
4.7 million?
Yep.
Crazy. So, this is all right, Tom. Are you gonna explain this?
We watched like
Wait, hold on. Let me pause that.
So this is the shortest. I think this is like a 4-second video, and it just goes
Yeah.
to show you the
So,
crazy stuff that goes viral on Instagram.
well, what's interesting is this is public. It's Frank Romano. He has an account, decent sized account, but
Well,
nothing crazy. Nothing crazy.
but yeah, he is fantastic. You've got to
Yeah.
go follow him, join him. He's a great guy.
Yep.
He has a lot of good wisdom on his Instagram. He's amazing. So go to his website or go to his
Frank Romano
Instagram.
sells. Yeah.
Yeah, go to his Instagram and follow him today. But he was just really cool. He wanted to be totally open about his 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 whole journey. And he just had a video where we pulled out some drains. And I do it a very particular way to make it easy
Yeah.
and not and he didn't even notice. He didn't even notice that. I have a sneaky way to do it so people don't even notice. So it's not even painful, they don't even notice. And so he just caught the humor of it. And I guess every day it gets just to be more and more. From 4.2 to 4.7, that's crazy.
And 30,000 likes and just
It's gonna be
follow
right
this.
up there with Tom with your baby. Tom's
Oh
got a
yeah,
baby video.
my daughter did 14 million views, and I didn't have it monetized. Oh
Ah,
yeah, that's all
well,
right.
she's so your daughter's so beautiful. I can see why it was 14
I
million
was
views.
thinking of doing like they did the duets, so have her at 3 years old because she loves to watch herself. So we might do like a duet and then have her watch it like 3 years later.
Oh yeah.
Viral baby. But yeah, so I mean, we don't know, guys. I asked Doc, and listen, like Doc's a busy guy. He's probably the busiest surgeon I know. I know a lot of surgeons, but he's committed to creating this content. He takes time out of his day, time between patients. It's Trust me, he wants to probably go back and take a nap or go to sleep. But we're committed to this. We want to educate you. We want to have you prepared. We want to get the dialogue going. So Doc, we'll wrap it up and do the final words for tonight.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back and see my patient. Then, if you're in Beverly Hills, if you're in LA, tonight is the holiday opening. Santa's coming to Beverly Hills on Rodeo
Awesome.
Drive. It's really magical. They have fireworks, so I will see you there. And Tom, thanks so much, and thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks, everybody. Replay crew, drop your questions below. We'll get to them usually the following week or certain topics you want to follow. This week is all about Beverly Hills. Doc, thanks so much.